Thank you, Melissa. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 19th National Conference on Child Abuse and Neglect. As Melissa indicates, I'm here as the Acting Assistant Secretary for the Administration for Children and Families, ACF. I'm also here as the Acting Commissioner of the Administration on Children, Youth, and Families, ACYF. I'm also pleased to be here with Ju Chang, the Associate Commissioner of the Children's Bureau, and Ju will be speaking tomorrow. This morning, we're honoring the 2014 Commissioners Awardees, and we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of CAPTA, the Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act. The ACYF Commissioners Awards recognizes up to one person from each state and U.S. territory for his or her leadership and exceptional contributions to the prevention and treatment of child abuse and neglect. We received 29 nominations for the 2014 awards. 21 of those awardees are here with us today, seated at the tables in front of the stage. Passionate, tireless, dedicated, innovative, compassionate, inspirational. Those are just some of the adjectives that were used to describe the 2014 honorees by the state leaders who nominated them. The awardees include volunteers and professionals and represent a continuum of child welfare, from primary prevention, child protective services, judges, pediatricians, lawyers, researchers, community-based service providers, and volunteers. Some strive for changes in policy and legislation. Others have created new programs and changed the service delivery systems in their states or communities. All of them are advocates and leaders who've made a difference in the lives of children and families. At this time, I'd like to ask each of the Commissioners' awardees to stand and to be recognized by their peers. Thank you all. There is more information, and there are photos of each of the 2014 awardees displayed throughout the Strand foyer, and so you can read about them and see their pictures. And the Commissioner's Award booklet is posted on our conference website. We hope that you'll all take the time to learn more and to celebrate your colleagues' accomplishments, and I want to thank all the awardees for their commitment to the children and families of this country. So, it is fitting that during this conference we consider the role that CAPTA has played in our work and how it's evolved over 40 years. You'll be hearing more about CAPTA's evolution in a few minutes from Deb Darrow and Tom Birch. The Children's Bureau has also released a report that documents the history of CAPTA, the work of the Children's Bureau in implementing the Act, and the role of the national conferences over the last 4 decades. The field of child abuse prevention and the body of knowledge that guides its work has progressed significantly over the past 40 years. We continue to build that knowledge that has the potential to move the field even further. We now know that household economic status is the strongest predictor of a child's risk of maltreatment. At the same time, we know that the great majority of families in poverty don't engage in child maltreatment. Research has found that successful interventions must both reduce risk factors and promote protective factors to ensure child and family well-being. Protective factors can serve as buffers, helping parents who might otherwise be at risk of abusing or neglecting their children to find resources, supports, or coping strategies that allow them to parent effectively even under stress. The 2014 Prevention Resource Guide, Making Meaningful Connections, highlights the importance of parental resilience, social connections, concrete support in times of need, knowledge of parenting and child development, social and emotional competence of children, and nurturing and attachment as protective factors that build family strengths and promote optimal child development. We understand the crucial importance of prevention because the effects of abuse and neglect impact multiple social, emotional, neurobiological, and health domains over the life cycle. We know timing and chronicity matter. The more often children experience abuse or neglect, the worse the outcomes. Children who've experienced child abuse or neglect are at increased risks for developmental delays, poor academic performance, delinquency, depression, substance abuse, deviant sexual behavior, domestic and criminal violence. Research from neuroscience suggests that abuse and neglect are associated with changes in brain architecture, particularly in the prefrontal cortex, the area that affects behavior regulation and stress responses. Exposure to a variety of adverse events, such as child maltreatment, are associated with increased risk of a multitude of health and social problems, such as diabetes, heart disease, depression, risky behavior, even early death. And the Centers for Disease Control estimate child maltreatment costs society $124 billion a year in costs for child welfare, mental health, law enforcement, hospitalizations due to injuries and child maltreatment, and other costs such as special education, juvenile delinquency, health care, and lost productivity. With our increase in knowledge comes the opportunity to implement more effective programs and services, and ultimately to improve safety, permanency, and well-being for some of our most vulnerable children and families. At ACF, the work of the Children's Bureau is central to our goals of promoting child well-being and reducing the risk of abuse and neglect. But these are goals that are shared broadly across ACF. We understand that parental stress and trauma can increase the risk of abuse and neglect. They can also increase the risk of homelessness and economic instability. And conversely, unstable housing and economic instability can contribute to family instability and disrupt parental functioning. We're committed to building the research base and drawing from that research to guide policy and practice with the goals of reducing the stressors that face poor and high-risk children and the communities in which they reside, and helping parents and caretakers build skills to strengthen parenting and better manage the stressors that they face. Accordingly, we've initiated research into how early Head Start programs can reduce the risk of toxic stress, how Head Start programs can affect and enhance their effectiveness as two-generational strategies, how employment and other programs can provide greater attention to strengthening executive functioning, how marriage and fatherhood programs can improve both relationship skills and attention to parenting, how the child support system can more effectively engage both parents in providing financial and emotional support to children. We know that parents are children's first and most important teachers. The administration is committed to reauthorization of the Maternal, Infant, and Early Childhood Home Visiting Program, MCV, which provides early and sustained support to families in domains such as child and maternal health and early education. Last year, ACF initiated an intra-agency parent and family support working group tasked with developing and implementing a coordinated agenda across HHS's parenting research, public messaging, policies, and technical assistance for programs like Head Start and home visiting. And we're actively seeking to bring together the research relating to trauma and stress and adverse childhood experiences in parenting. The President has declared 2014 as a year of action, and ACF has taken up that challenge. We'll shortly be releasing funding announcements for early Head Start child care partnerships that will be designed to promote local efforts to bring early Head Start services to children in child care settings and raise the quality of child care for all children, particularly those in low-income communities. This includes providing children in child care settings with access to Head Start's comprehensive services, including parent engagement opportunities. We're actively engaged with federal partners in advancing national goals of ending family and youth homelessness. We're working with federal partners, states, and non-governmental organizations in the efforts to end trafficking. We've worked with many state and local efforts in support of promoting access to health care through implementation of the Affordable Care Act. And we believe that full implementation of the ACA has the potential to be transformative in expanding both access and services for low-income families and communities. In her talk tomorrow, Ju will be highlighting our budget proposal developed in collaboration with the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services to promote evidence-based strategies and reduce reliance on psychotropic drugs for children in foster care. And Ju will also talk about initiation of the next round of child and family service reviews, and will highlight a set of additional areas of Children's Bureau work. I want to briefly highlight a set of initiatives in our current discretionary grants. We're committed to funding strategic investments in innovation while we build on the effectiveness from evidence-based programs. So among our discretionary grants are grants in child maltreatment research using innovative approaches, which will be supporting research on child maltreatment, looking cross systems, using the social ecological framework to better understand child abuse and neglect. Fellowships for university-based doctoral candidates and faculty for research in child maltreatment to support doctoral candidates who demonstrate a strong commitment to the study of child maltreatment, and faculty who will conduct research on child abuse prevention and treatment and provide mentorship for emerging scholars. The regional partnership grants, which are designed to increase well-being, improve permanency outcomes, enhance safety of children who are in out-of-home placements or risk entering out-of-home placements as a result of a parent's or caretaker's substance abuse. Grants to address trafficking within the child welfare population, which are designed to continue the development of the child welfare system's response to trafficking through infrastructure building and creating an evidence base of effective interventions that can promote better outcomes for children involved in the child welfare system. We view each of these and others as playing key roles in helping states and localities build the evidence for improving the effectiveness of our collaborative work. So as we move together, it's important that we both reflect on the history of CAPTA and continue to build the knowledge to develop a better understanding of the causes and consequences of abuse and neglect, and the development and deployment of evidence-based solutions that make children safer, speed reunification and other forms of permanency, and promote well-being. So we thank you all for attending this important conference and for coming prepared to make connections and to share with us your ideas and thoughts, and very best wishes for a tremendously successful conference. Thanks, everybody.